Haunted houses have become an important part of tourist routes. Mystical stories associated with a particular attraction add to its popularity. The spirit of the former owner, who wanders around the hotel at night, does not scare away the guests, but makes them stay for a couple more nights. In this video, Top F tell the stories of buildings and houses that are said to have been haunted. Grab some popcorn, we're about to start. 1. Château de Brissac. The castle in the Loire Valley keeps the memory of a bloody double murder. In 1462, Jacques de Brissac, one of the original owners of the Château de Brissac, married Charlotte de Valois. While the newly minted husband hunted in the surrounding forests, the socialite wandered alone through the luxurious halls and eventually got herself a lover. De Brissac found out about the betrayal only in the 15th year of marriage. One night a servant woke him up and said that he had found his mistress in the arms of a local huntsman. The husband grabbed the sword, rushed into the bedroom of his wife and killed first her lover and then herself. Shortly after the funeral, Jacques de Brissac was imprisoned and ghosts settled in the Château de Brissac. Charlotte is known to the new owners of the castle as the Lady in Green, her favorite color during her lifetime. The Lady in Green is rather harmless and only by her silent presence reminds that she will forever remain the mistress of the castle. By the way, this ghost appears only to men. Charlotte's lover, on the other hand, prefers women. Thrill seekers can spend the night in one of the historic bedrooms for $476. The Lady in Green will surely come to check if the guests are damaging her property. A regular tour of the castle will cost $12, and it is located at 1 Rue Jean Say, 49320 Brissac-les-Robins, France. 2. Winchester Mystery House. In the mid-50s of the 19th century, Oliver Fisher Winchester, who in the past was a successful manufacturer of menswear, began to make weapons. His rifles and shotguns were in great demand, bringing world fame to the creator and a curse to his family. In any case, such a version was put forward by a medium who was visited by Winchester's daughter-in-law after her father-in-law and husband died with a difference of only a year. She had lost her only daughter 15 years earlier. The medium claimed that misfortunes were sent to the Winchester family by the ghosts of those who were killed from weapons manufactured by their company. To get rid of them, he advised the widow to move from Connecticut to another state and build a huge house with many rooms there to confuse the ghosts. Mrs. Winchester followed the medium's instructions exactly. And since she believed that her life would end at the moment when the construction was completed, the house was constantly rebuilt, one after another. Stairs appeared, resting on the ceiling, doors leading to nowhere, partitions of incomprehensible purpose and openings where an adult squeezes with difficulty. By the time of the death of the mistress in 1922, the building had more than 150 rooms, which today anyone can wander around. Now the house has been turned into a museum, which is located at 525 S. Winchester Boulevard, San Jose, California. This pleasure will cost from $20 to $55. 3. The Old-New Synagogue. The Old-New Synagogue is the oldest functioning synagogue in Europe. Built in the middle of the 13th century, it has acquired many legends, the main of which is associated with the Golem of Prague, a giant clay man. It was created in the 16th century by the Prague Rabbi Yehuda Lev ben Bezalel either to protect his fellows or to help with the housework. Following a magical ritual, Rabbi Leo put a tablet with a Shem, the sacred name of God, into the golem's mouth, and the clay giant came to life. Every day, Rabbi Leo took the Shem out of the golem's mouth, but one day, on the night from Friday to Saturday, he forgot to do it. The giant went to roam the quarter, and instead of protecting the inhabitants, he began to kill them and destroy buildings. With great difficulty, the rabbi managed to calm the golem, after which the lifeless clay body was dragged to the attic of the Old-New Synagogue and forbade anyone to go there. One of the modern Prague legends tells about a secret agent of Nazi Germany who in the 1940s, despite the ban, went up to the attic and died under unclear circumstances. And the inhabitants of Prague also believe that once every 33 years the golem wakes up and patrols the Jewish quarter at night, and a meeting with him is fraught with sad consequences. The synagogue is located at Cervena, 11001 Josvav, Czechia, and the entrance price will be on average $9 to $11 per adult. 4. Grand Hyatt Taipei Hotel. Good hotel, but the ghosts haunt. The service is excellent, but it's completely impossible to sleep because of some incomprehensible rustles. We got out of the elevator, we saw the spirit. Such reviews about the Grand Hyatt Taipei Hotel are often found on tourist forums. The clue lies in the dark past of the hotel, built on the site of a prison where many political prisoners perished during the Second World War. Almost from the first days of its existence, hotel employees began to complain about the sounds that came from behind the doors of empty rooms: voices, steps, laughter, glasses clinking. Soon, guests of the hotel began to notice paranormal activity. In the corridors, they met incorporeal entities, and in the rooms someone shifted objects from place to place, although the cleaners swore that this was not their doing. Worried, the hotel management turned to feng shui experts for help. The latter, having examined the building, placed scrolls with spells that scare away ghosts at its strategically important points. Judging by the fact that the guests still encounter ghosts, it didn't work. If you are in Taiwan and want an adventure, you can rent a room at this hotel at a cost of $170 to $550 per night, and it is located at 2 Sancho Road, Taipei, Taiwan. 5. Joelma Building. On February 1st, 1974, at around 9 a.m., a short circuit in the air conditioning system caused a fire to break out on the 12th floor of the 25-story Joelma building. In a matter of minutes, the fire engulfed the entire building, which had no emergency exits or fire alarms. 300 people were saved, although they received burns of varying severity, and more than 180 died, with 40 of them jumping out of windows in the hope of being saved. It took 4 years to reconstruct the building. Now it fully complies with fire safety standards. However, offices in it are reluctant to rent. Employees say that it is absolutely impossible to be there in the evening because of sounds of an incomprehensible origin: groans, screams, footsteps. Some even periodically feel a distinct smell of burning. Moreover, Brazilian ghost hunters claim that in the past there was a well on the site of the Joelma building, where the corpses of victims of a serial killer were found in the 1940s. It turns out that not one, but 2 whole generations of ghosts live in a modern building. Unlike other places that we talked about in the video, these offices can only be accessed with passes, but for those who want, there will always be ways and solutions. And if you're one of those daredevils, you can find the building at our Santo Antonio, 140 de Bella Vista, Sao Paulo, SP 01314-000, Brazil. 6. The Myrtles Plantation. The Myrtles Plantation proudly bears the title of one of the most haunted houses in the United States. The house was built in 1796 by General Dave Bradford, and locals associate the appearance of ghosts in the house with the biography of the general's daughter and her husband. The couple had a slave named Chloe who was terribly fond of eavesdropping. Once the owner caught her doing this and, in order to permanently wean the girl from a bad habit, cut off her ear. Chloe, now forced to constantly walk in a scarf wrapped around her head, decided to take revenge on the offender and baked a poisonous pie, adding oleander leaves to the dough. The man did not want the pie that evening, but his wife and 2 daughters ate a piece and died in agony. Enraged slaves lynched Chloe, and since then her ghost has been wandering around the house and the adjacent garden. The victims also could not leave the estate. They leave fingerprints on the furniture, hide the personal belongings of the guests, and appear to them in the mirrors. And although historians do not advise taking the legends of the Myrtle Plantation seriously, tourists vying with each other talk about how strange clots of fog pursued them during the excursion, and the guests about how prints of children's feet were found on flowers scattered in the evening and the morning. Find a place at 7747 US 61, St. Francisville, LA 70775, United States. A regular tour will cost from $15 and a private one from $120. Real thrill seekers can rent a room, the cost of which varies from $165 to $500 per night. 7. Embassy of Tunisia's House of Beria. A cozy mansion in the center of Moscow used to belong to one of the most odious figures in the history of the USSR's Lavrenti Beria. The head of the NKVD lived here from the end of the 30s until his death. Girls were afraid of Beria more than others. There were rumors that he could stop his car next to the beauty he liked and invite her to visit him, regardless of her opinion, and that after a visit to the house on Malaya Nikitskaya, many invited disappeared without a trace. Local old-timers claim that several times a month a strange phenomenon can be observed near the mansion. Late in the evening, an invisible car drives up from the direction of the garden ring, the doors slam, voices are heard, then a strangled female cry cuts through the darkness of the night and everything subsides. However, mysterious events sometimes occur inside the embassy. Documents disappear from safes, papers left unattended turn out to be crumpled, and employees repeatedly met the ghost of the former owner in the corridors. A few years ago, information was leaked to the press that instruments of torture were found in the basement of Beria's mansion, but there was no reliable evidence of this. You can get into Beria's house by agreement on the spot, and it is located at Malaya Nikitskaya Street, 28, Moscow, Russia. 8. The Stanley Hotel. Thriller Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, based on the book of the same name by Stephen King, is considered one of the scariest films in the history of cinema. But few people know that in 1997 the miniseries The Shining was released on television, some scenes of which were filmed in the luxurious The Stanley Hotel. And for good reason. It is believed that the atmosphere of this hotel inspired King to create a novel. It all started with the chefs complaining about the sounds of noisy fun coming from the ballroom, which is located above the kitchen, although there was no one in the room. Then an invisible musician appeared in the hotel, playing the piano in the evenings. The guests also got it. At night they were awakened by sonorous children's laughter, and in some of them the emboldened ghosts even threw small objects or, deciding to play caring nannies, tucked blankets at them. The owners of the hotel were not at a loss and turned to their advantage all the rumors associated with it. Not only are they not going to drive away ghosts, but, on the contrary, they offer guests rooms where paranormal activity is especially high. 407, 428, 1302 and 217. They say that Stephen King himself stayed in it, and on the internal TV channel they show Kubrick's All Day and Night Shine. The hotel is located at 333 Wonderview Avenue, Estes Park, Colorado, USA. and the price of a room will average from $320 to $350 per night. 9. Edinburgh Castle. In the very center of the Scottish capital, on a 133-meter cliff, Edinburgh Castle rises, which for more than 1,000 years has acquired a whole army of ghosts. The two most famous are distinguished by their love of music. The first is a headless drummer who appears when the city is in danger. He is said to have warned the inhabitants of the castle in 1650 that the troops of Oliver Cromwell were approaching him. The second is a piper who disappeared without a trace in the labyrinth of dungeons, where during the 7 Years' War the British held French prisoners. Their spirits, by the way, still cannot calm down. Several four-legged ghosts were presented to the castle by a dog cemetery located on its territory, where dogs belonging to garrison officers were buried. One of them has become a cult character in modern Scottish mythology. Bobby the Terrier spent 14 years on his owner's grave and deserved a posthumous monument. Unlike him, a ghost named Mr. Boots has a nasty character. An old man in a frock coat, cocked hat, and high leather boots often pursues tourist groups, pulls the castle guests by their clothes, throws stones at them, closes doors in front of them, and especially likes to scare young girls. If you want to get to know them personally, the castle is located at Castle Hill, Edinburgh, Scotland, and the price of the tour will be about $23. That's all for today. Thanks for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and like this video if you haven't done it yet. Also, turn on notifications on our channel to catch all new videos. Bye.